Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A first-hand look at border enforcement efforts. It is why Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas will be in Eagle Pass tomorrow.
Last month, he visited with Border Patrol in Uvalde, less than an hour away from the border. Our Daniela Ibarra is live in Eagle Pass tonight. And Daniela, we know you've been talking to local business owners and leaders there about what they hope will come out of this visit.
Yeah, Courtney and Tim, people who live and work here in Eagle Pass, they say the recent surges of migrants that have even filled this field behind me had not only impacted their economy, but also their resources. And that's why they're hoping that Secretary Mayorkas' visit tomorrow brings relief. It's Eagle Pass's lifeline. Business from across the border helps these stores on Main Street survive. Angel Gonzalez, whose clients are mainly from Mexico, says his sales dropped. He blames a weeks-long bridge closure for the dip in profit. Border Patrol had to shift resources to process the waves of migrants spilling into Eagle Pass. Angel says he does feel bad for the migrants. They're men, women, and kids who spend months traveling through tough conditions. Angel says he understands they want a better life. It's why he can't believe he now says it's time to shut down the border. Angel and the president of Eagle Pass's Chamber of Commerce says the government hasn't done anything to help.
There's always a solution to every problem. What it is, I'm not there to make those decisions, but something has to give. We need help from the federal government.
Eagle Pass Mayor Rolando Salinas says he's been pleading with the feds to listen.
The high people, they need to see what's going on and they need to hear from us and they need to give this importance.
More than 60 House Republicans visited the border town to see the crisis for themselves. Now Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will follow suit, learning about border enforcement efforts.
I'm grateful that he is coming. The invitation is open to everybody.
Salinas says Mayorkas called to give him the heads up about the bridge reopening. That's why Angel opened up his store on Sunday, hoping the low wait times to cross will bring in more customers from Mexico.
Frustrante, desesperado.
He and many other businesses are frustrated and desperate. He hopes Mayorkas will understand when he gets here and do something about it. Many people here in Eagle Pass, they were hoping this visit would have happened a lot sooner, maybe 2-3 weeks ago when things were at its worst. We're talking about thousands of migrants waiting in this field behind me to be processed by Border Patrol. At times, there were over 4,000 waiting overnight to be processed. Courtney and Tim.
And Daniela, from your story and stories we've done this week, we've heard from several business owners over the past week, and they depend on the holidays for sales, but I'm sure that bridge closure clearly impacted that.
Yeah, they say people were waiting for upwards of 13 to 14 hours just to get back from Mexico to Eagle Pass. That's why it's been impacting customers. They say it's also impacted some of their employees who live in Mexico who would come here to work. And I mean, we were here a couple weeks ago and we saw a lot of those stores just empty because the business owners just said people weren't coming.
Incredibly frustrating for everyone involved. Do we know what the secretary plans to do when he's there in Eagle Pass tomorrow?
So we haven't been told much about his visit other than it's an operational visit. We do know that he's going to meet with Border Patrol leaders as well as local leaders when he's here. He's also expected to have media availability, so we're hoping to ask him a couple questions tomorrow.
Forward to that. Thank you very much. Daniela Ibarra live tonight for us in Eagle Pass along the border.
Another big story we have obviously is the weather. If you can't hear the wind already, it's coming.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be even stronger than what we're seeing out there right now. You could definitely feel the winds pick up. You can see the clouds have moved in. Signs of things to come, changes on their way. Let's go ahead and take a look at the day, and I can actually show you a time lapse of those clouds moving in from earlier. We got up to 66 degrees after a morning low of 38. There are those clouds moving in. But right now, we're really feeling those wind gusts. Take a look at wind gusts. In San Antonio, we've seen gusts of up to about 30 miles per hour, but look at Rock Springs. Rock Springs wind gust of 41 miles per hour. It's those areas of Rock Springs, Kerrville, and the Hill Country that are going to see wind gusts from the southeast tonight up to 40 miles per hour. But our winds in San Antonio really going to kick up late tomorrow in the evening and overnight hours. So it's going to be breezy overnight, and we will have some damp spots for the morning commute tomorrow. But the real big story is that Monday night through Tuesday in San Antonio, we'll have gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. Coming up in the forecast, I'm going to tell you how those gusty winds could impact your day and even some of your property potentially. Details coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, Sarah. Thank you. A moment of silence for a murdered 6-year-old. Just days after Hosanna Sancho's death, her family hosted a vigil in her honor. This after Hosanna's mother, Nefitaria Sancho, faces charges for capital murder in her daughter's death. The night team's Avery Everett spoke to Hosanna's loved ones, who say they're trying to remember her for who she was and not how she died.
Hosanna was a little girl with the greatest smile.
A short life that will leave lasting impacts.
She just loved to give everybody hugs, wanted to know everybody's name, wanted to know all about you.
In only 6 years, family and friends say Hosanna Sancho touched the hearts of so many. And now, in the days after her death, the Sancho family is holding on to every moment and memory that they can.
Today is a horrible day in our family's life.
I apologize for her because I was always...
We're hurting, we're in pain. We're very confused as to a lot of the events that happened.
On Wednesday, San Antonio police found Hosanna dead at an apartment complex on the southwest side. Police arrested her mother, Nefitaria Sancho, at the scene. And now she faces a charge for capital murder of a child under 10. The Sancho family says Nefitaria struggles with her mental health.
Every night I hold my daughters a little tighter. And think of her.
But Hosanna's death has left this family devastated.
I appreciate everybody's prayers because I need them. We all need them. We all need them. You don't know how much we need them. The struggle is real.
In a vigil to honor her on Sunday, this family was left in tears.
She was my baby, she was my everything.
But they're holding on to each other to get through this heartbreak.
It's just heartwarming and a joy to see the park filled.
Court records that we've seen show Nefitaria Sancho had a previous conviction back in 2010 for injury to a child. She then went to a state hospital after that. In February of last year, she had a medical examination for her mental health. A physician said that she had met the criteria for outpatient treatment. Now, a year later, we know in this case involving Hosanna that it's currently awaiting indictment. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
A disturbing story. Thank you, Avery. Also new on the Nightbeat, congressional leaders have announced a budget agreement that would keep the government funded through the end of the fiscal year. The deal between House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer includes $886 billion in defense spending and $704 billion to fund other endeavors. Despite the tentative agreement, two funding deadlines are quickly approaching. That's January 19th and February 2nd. If the deal isn't approved, the government could still shut down.
The Israeli military says Hezbollah terrorists have attacked an air traffic control base in northern Israel. Israeli officials now warn of another war against the Iran-backed militant group. The two sides have traded fire for the last few days now. The increased fighting between the two is giving new urgency to U.S. diplomacy efforts as Secretary of State Antony Blinken prepares for his next visit to Israel in the coming days. Meanwhile, the U.S. continues to urge Israel to wind down its attack into Gaza and shift to more targeted attacks against Hamas leaders. Back here at home, San Antonio police investigating a shooting that sent a 25-year-old man to the hospital overnight. It happened in the 4000 block of East South Cross Boulevard. The victim told police his brother and a woman got into a fight. Then he says a man with that woman started shooting at him and his brother. He was shot twice and the pair ran away and called police. That man taken to a nearby hospital. Meanwhile, police have not released any information on that suspect.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner has identified a man who died while fixing a flat tire on the side of the road as 40-year-old Ramon Saucedo. It happened last night along Loop 410, not far from Ingram Road. San Antonio police say Saucedo was getting a car jack from the back of a truck when he was hit by a car exiting Loop 410. That driver told officers he took his eyes off the road when something fell from his passenger seat. Sauceda died at a hospital. SAPD still investigating. And for the 8th time, the United We Brunch is back next month at the Whitty Museum. The annual event will include food and drinks, all in an effort to raise money for the United Way of San Antonio and Bexar County. For tickets and more information about the brunch, just look for this story over on our website at KSAT.com.
Still ahead on the Night Beat, a new year means a new load of cases headed to trial in Bexar County. We have a breakdown of the biggest cases to watch for in the courtroom in 2024. Plus, a years-long shortage of ADHD pills has put a family living here in San Antonio in panic mode. How that mother and her kids are living day to day.
And we are learning new information about former President Donald Trump's actions or inactions back on January 6, 2021. Those new details, plus why the former president will be back in court this week, next on the Night Beat. To politics now, as we approach the Iowa caucuses, sources tell ABC News that special counsel Jack Smith's team has obtained previously undisclosed details about former President Donald Trump's reported inaction on January 6. ABC's Ike Kajachi with what a close member of Trump's staff reportedly told investigators, plus reaction from Mr. Trump's campaign.
Sources say special counsel Jack Smith's team has obtained additional testimony with previously undisclosed details about former President Trump's refusal for hours to help stop the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Trump's former deputy chief of staff, Dan Scavino, speaking with investigators. Scavino has known the former president since he was a teenager and worked for him for more than 3 decades, starting as his golf caddy. He helped manage Trump's social media accounts from the White House and was one of a handful of people with the president as the attack on the Capitol unfolded.
The great Dan Scavino, most powerful man in politics.
The January 6th committee wanted to talk to him, but he defied their subpoena. And after a court battle, he finally spoke with special counsel Jack Smith's investigators. Key portions were described to ABC News. Sources tell ABC News Scavino told Jack Smith's team that as the violence began to escalate that day, Trump was just not interested in doing much to stop it, adding he was angry that the election was stolen from him and that his supporters were angry on his behalf. Sources also say former Trump aide Nick Luna told federal investigators when Trump was informed then Vice President Mike Pence had to be rushed to a secure location, Trump responded, "So what?" which they claim Luna saw as an unexpected willingness by Trump to let potential harm come to a longtime loyalist. The Trump campaign responding, saying media fascination with secondhand hearsay shows how weak the witch hunt against the former president is. They add Scavino is one of Trump's longest-serving and most loyal allies. An attorney for Scavino and a spokesperson for the special counsel both declined to comment to ABC News. Ike Kajachi, ABC News, Washington.
The former president is also set to spend some time inside a New York City courtroom again this week. The closing arguments in his civil fraud trial begin Thursday. Trump, his adult sons, and other company executives are accused in a decade-long scheme of inflating property values to get better loans for his real estate and resort businesses. It is also rumored that Trump could attend a federal appeals court argument on his immunity challenge in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. Trump is facing 91 charges in 4 current criminal cases.
It's one of a kind.
All right, some feel-good news for you in San Antonio today. The Acadiana Shack is back, and today the owners were offering free gumbo to anyone who showed up as a way to say thank you for their continued support. On Wednesday, owner David Saylor woke up to find his food truck had been stolen.
Yeah, after 2 days of spreading the word and with a little help from a Good Samaritan, the truck was returned by Thursday night.
No, I live nearby, so I've seen that trailer here for years. And I love Louisiana food. And then just coming to get some free gumbo, that was the plus.
We talked with the owner who is just over the moon with today's turnout.
It just reinforces our support of regular guests and that continuity. But the exciting thing, Lexi, is we've got a lot of new people coming through that have never had gumbo from Acadiana. And we really appreciate it, and we welcome them in.
Just in time for carnival season. Mardi Gras right around the corner here now.
Yeah, back in action. That's like a perfect example of our community.
And giving back. That's very nice.
Yeah, love it. Love it. What I don't love Tim?
Yeah.
Is the wind blowing all my stuff around in my backyard?
Oh, goodness. And the wind's picking up mountain cedar probably, too. And
don't mention
I've had that headache all day.
I just got to be honest with you. Yeah, that's the forecast for us. But these winds are going to be very noticeable by tomorrow night. Now, tonight, though, it is still going to be breezy, but just not as quite as windy as what we're expecting tomorrow night. And in fact, by tomorrow morning, it will be damp in spots. So keep that in mind. If you have an early morning commute, know that it may take you a little longer to get to where you need to go, because as you know, driving around San Antonio in any little bit of rain can be a bit of a headache. And then finally, the biggest point to make is that yes, those winds are going to be strong Monday evening through Tuesday morning, gusts of up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. To put that in perspective for you, a wind gust is considered severe from a storm when it is up to 58 miles per hour. So close to that severe storm criteria for those wind gusts. As we take a look at the weather setup across the state of Texas, it's quiet right now, but there's our system knocking on our doorstep right over the Four Corners region. It's already so strong that it's pulling in some of that cloud cover and those southeast winds right now, which is why we saw clouds roll in very quickly here in San Antonio. Let's take a look at the futurecast. Overnight, some areas of drizzle, even some light rain showers possible. That will continue through the early morning commute as well. And then storms are going to be possible mainly east of I-35. So closer to Houston, out toward New Orleans, that's where we could see some severe weather, perhaps even some tornadoes out there. So if you have friends and family in the Houston area, let them be aware of the severe thunderstorm risk tomorrow. But for us in San Antonio, the biggest thing when that front moves through is that our winds are going to turn around to the northwest and they are going to be strong. This is a look at tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's when I expect the winds to really kick in around San Antonio after 4 p.m. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take our time on this map. Again, at 4 p.m., a gust up to 25 miles per hour is possible in San Antonio, but out in Del Rio, that's when those winds are already going to be strong up to about 50 mile per hour wind gusts. Then as we head past dinner, that's when it's going to get really windy in San Antonio. Wind gusts of up to 40 to 45 miles per hour. This particular model is hinting at a 52 mile per hour wind gust in some of the San Antonio metro area. That will continue overnight tomorrow into Tuesday. So you'll probably be able to hear the winds howling overnight, Monday into Tuesday. And by Tuesday morning commute, it's still going to be gusty with those winds gusting up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. But by lunchtime Tuesday, those winds will really start to be calming down. So what do you need to know about a wind gust of 40 to 50 miles per hour? Well, it'll likely toss around lightweight objects outside. So take some time early tomorrow to make sure any lightweight patio furniture is brought inside, and also secure things to the ground like lightweight carports. Those really need to be secured into the ground. Mountain cedar is likely going to increase too whenever we get a wind from the northwest this time of year. And then I want to mention too that fire danger will be high with a gusty wind, dry air in place. A little spark can cause a grass fire. And then this is the last thing I want to focus on. If a tree limb or tree interacts with a power line, it could result in some localized power outages. I don't anticipate widespread power outages, but it is a possibility. So starting in the morning, damp, but then by noon, it'll still be fairly calm outside, close to 70 degrees. Afternoon and into the evening, that's when those winds are really going to pick up, sustained at 25 miles per hour, but gusting up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. Then after winds calm on Tuesday, it'll be cool with a high of 60. A light freeze is possible Wednesday morning. Nice on Wednesday and Thursday, but guys, guess what? Windy again on Friday. So a windy week ahead for us. And then beyond the 7 days, coming up in the next half hour, I have a look ahead to some potentially cold Arctic air that you're going to want to pay attention to. So that forecast coming up in a bit.
You taking your daughter to the park or anywhere tomorrow?
No, I refuse. I seriously went home on my dinner break and moved chairs into my house. Like that was...
Worried about people with little ones. Take off.
She's going to blow away. Yeah.
Hold on tight. All right, Mary will be along because Larry's on the road. She's going to tell us what's happening on Instant Replay right after this. Playoffs start next week, but it felt like the playoffs started this weekend. Several games across the league were win or go home in the final week of the regular season. Mary, the Dallas Cowboys clinched the playoffs weeks ago, but they ended up doing something very unexpected and winning their division.
Yes, who would have thought in this position that they'd be in to win the division? It was really thanks to the help of the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost 2 of their last 3 games to the Cardinals and Giants, who opened the door wide open for the Cowboys to win the division and clinch that 2 seed, which they did. We're breaking it all down on Instant Replay.
Prescott's in the gun, back to throw, looking right. Scrambles left, still got it, scrambles back right, throws it in the end zone, caught for a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
Dallas took care of business today, defeating the Commanders 38-10. Larry Ramirez was there to witness it all. He'll be live from FedEx Field later in the show. And now Mike McCarthy's team will face his former team, the 7th-seeded Green Bay Packers, in the wild card round next weekend.
Motion man is Gainwell on 4th down. Hurts. Nobody there.
Not every team could rest their starters, which resulted in some key injuries. The Philadelphia Eagles saw their star wideout A.J. Brown go down, and QB Jalen Hurts hurt his finger. We'll have the latest on Hurts' injury.
Hey, now everything starts, right? Everybody 0-0 right now. All we want is opportunity. Opportunity, and we got our op.
The Houston Texans outlasted the Colts and Jaguars to win the AFC South Division title. Rookie coach, rookie quarterback headed to the playoffs as the 4th seed. They'll face the 5th-seeded Browns. We'll have a complete playoff picture for you. Larry will be live with a full recap of the Cowboys' win today. And we have a play of the week that involves dead fish and a buzzer beater from an 8th grader you have to see yourself. And who wins the national championship in college football? It's all next on Instant Replay.
You had me at dead fish, Mary.
Yeah, wait and see.
All right, we'll see you then. We'll see you on the other side of this break.